Tesla and Elon Musk had a great week, and it's mainly due to a great success that they were able to achieve with their Model 3 production and sales. But it is also because Elon Musk had actually, because of his conduct during the earnings call, and a lot of people took notice, and the stock market is reacting. We're going to talk about that, of course, and as the stock went up, so did the price of the Model 3, believe it or not. We're gonna talk about that, and then EPA is once again, not protecting the environment. Despite its name, we're gonna talk about that all coming up next. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the world of electric cars, go ahead and click on the subscribe button down there. It's free, so you don't miss anything moving forward. And of course, thank you to those Patreons who are watching me live right now, and later we'll do the extra mile, of course, at the end of the show. As always, still working on the echo in the studio. It's a much bigger studio. I should be a little bit better than yesterday, but I just, so you know, work in progress. I'm definitely aware. All right, let's talk about the stock went up 15% yesterday, or even 16%. Still keeps going up. I believe it's one of the best gains in one day in like 5 years, or in maybe 3 years. So people who were trying to short the stock, obviously, I think they ended up losing on paper like $2 billion or something crazy like that. This is the burn that Elon Musk promised them, and obviously delivering on that. But obviously it comes from great sales and production being, ramped up. But just like I said yesterday, it was a lot of it was Elon Musk's behavior, the conduct, professional, calm, just delivering good news, and apologizing to the analysts that he hung up on last week. The question of the day is about that, so I'm going to cover that a little bit more at the end of the show. But it looks like, I mean, it's around $350 right now, and of course, stock is not always the representation of how the company is doing. But I feel like everybody feels good about Tesla right now, at least like at this moment. So that's a good sign. Wall Street, Tesla lovers, Tesla haters, call them Tesla lovers, Tesla fans, Tesla haters. I feel like everyone's on the same page right now. All right, but let's talk about also the price of the Model 3 has gone up. Before that, of course, I want to remind you guys that this show and this channel is sponsored by Avanex, the aftermarket accessories, and there's a discount code that they issued specifically for this community. It's in the description of this video, so if you want to save yourselves a few bucks when you shop there, go ahead and grab it and enjoy. All right, let's talk about Model 3 that went up in price. Now, as you remember, the all-wheel drive version just kind of been around only for a month since they started selling it. The Model S and Model X all-wheel drive package is about $5,000, and people were kind of expecting it to be a little bit less when the Model 3 option became available, and it was at $5,000. People were a little disappointed, but Tesla was pretty quick to roll it back to $4,000. Guess what? It's back to $5,000 today. They just raised the price, no announcements really. I think just people noticed that their configurator now has it at 5,000. If you've already configured yours at 4, it will stay at that. But basically, moving forward, is going to be 5. There's really no explanation except for they tried to make more money. So that's the explanation, I guess. And oh yeah, so. Now, it's at the same price as Model S and Model X. And another thing is they did not raise the price for the performance package, though that includes all-wheel drive. So I don't know if we should expect that soon, or that just kind of they figured they just want to make a little bit more of an all-wheel drive, but non-performance. I don't know. Oh yeah, so the price of paint also went up. So as you know, when you're ordering Model 3, you can get you can get it in black, my favorite color, for free. But every other color, you had to pay $1,500. Guess what? That went up as well, $2,000 now. No reason. Yeah, so of course, if you placed a note already, it's gonna stay at $1,500. But From now on, it's 2000. So they're definitely trying to squeeze the extra few bucks from everybody to make sure they're profitable. Not that it's my problem or our problem. I feel like it just went up in price. Yeah. Now here's some more good news. Actually, I wanted to talk about is now yesterday at the earnings call. And this was really on Tesla's feed. They announced that they are now outselling. Model 3 is outselling all the premium sedans. They forgot Infinity and I think a couple of other ones, but nevertheless, this is the chart that they presented yesterday. Well, here's a better chart, really, I think. And this comes from Inside EVs. Now, this InsideEVs.com, it's a great source of electric car news and green energy news, and to me, their biggest value is that they keep track of sales, and this is not easy. Companies don't announce this like every month. They have to track it down. This is a lot of work, and so thank you to them for doing that. And let me go full screen. Not sure resolution is going to be that great, but so as you can see, Model 3 is undisputedly at the top and will continue to be there. The second one is 14,250. The second one is a Toyota Prius Prime. Less than 2,000. Now they're still including plug-in hybrids, but see the batteries next to them. Those are the full electric. Model 3 is just obviously kicking butt left and right, and then as you notice, Model S and Model X production has fallen almost by half, and I'm surprised. I thought they had some in transit specifically to avoid hitting 200,000. Sales mark here in the United States. By the way, these are numbers for US obviously only, but it fell sharply. I didn't realize that. Volt once again outsold the Chevy Bolt, and guess what? I am one of the people who contributed to that number. Haven't even driven the damn thing yet because it's been on my driveway, and I literally kind of trying to figure out even just how everything works, and I had not a single second because I moved on Saturday and I've just been unpacking. Anyway, let's get back to the numbers. So yeah, Chevy Volt once again outsold Chevy Bolt, which is bad. Which is they're moving in the wrong direction here, I think. And Nissan Leaf sales once again fell to 1149. I don't know what's going on. This car is kicking butt in Europe. Nissan Leaf and in Europe and Japan, they're selling like hotcakes. There's a reservation line there still that hasn't been really accommodated. But somehow in the United States, they're just not importing them. Now I'm in Sacramento. I haven't seen a single one, but when I was in Silicon Valley, really total on the road, I think I've seen 6 and 7. That's the number of Teslas I see usually just on my way to the office, which I don't have anymore because I got laid off. I don't know if you guys heard. So yeah, interesting numbers on BMW i3, as you can see, just a very few. All right, let's move on to another, actually not such a good news, Alex in the chat room on Patreon says Model X and Model S sales are always lower in July. Just look at 2017 numbers. True, but the reason I'm saying this is because I thought a lot of them were kind of held back from deliveries, right? So they didn't hit that 200,000 number in July, Alex. So that's why I thought it would have been higher. Anyway, let's move on to this story. And I didn't do my graphics correctly. That's great. Sorry about that. There you go. EPA. Environmental Protection Agency. They should really consider changing the name or the logo, because I don't think we're going to have any more of that water or flower stuff anytime soon, because they've decided this is the boldest move yet. They've decided they're proposing to freeze the standards, the fuel efficiency standards in 2020. Now, as you know, the efficiency is supposed to go up every year, and by 2025, it's supposed to get to 50 miles per gallon, which is actually a pretty steep climb there. But manufacturers seem like they were on track to do that, and obviously that's why we've seen so many hybrids and plug-in hybrids and so forth. They're being dragged in there, but they're doing a relatively good job. So, but obviously Trump administration doesn't really care for that. So they are now pushing for just freezing it. So by 2020, whatever we get to, I don't think it's 40 something, maybe even under that, and that would be just the standard from now on. Now, there's a bigger thing that they're also trying to do is, California has its own standards, and we believe that it's been afforded to us by the Clean Air Act that was signed by Obama when he was in the office. Well, the EPA is trying to revoke that, so California would not be able to set it, and other states essentially set their own standards, and that is not good. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's probably going to be a long battle because obviously everyone in California, all of the officials and everything are vouching to battle this. It's probably going to be a long court battle, but we'll see what happens. Obviously not good news. John in the chat room says you mentioned you were missing your Volt charger. Is not under the back floor. I have a feeling that while my house was actually empty for 3 days before I moved in, but after it was, remodeled, somebody walked in, somebody just got into my garage and took the charger because that was the only thing to take besides the car itself. So no, I had to order another charger, unfortunately, on Amazon. Yeah, that sucks. Anyway, let's get to the comment of the day. Before that, of course, I want to give shout outs to some of my new Patreons. And this one, you guys should keep breaking records every day. Dion Hamilton is now the top contributor at $40 a month. Really, really thank you so much, Dion. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all of your support and your comments on the Patreon. And, it really only takes $5, to be honest with you, to be able to get all the perks, my videos, my pictures, my posts. I always interact with my Patreons. And of course, I do the live. You can watch me live right now. Patreons can watch me live, and I do the extra mile after the show where I just talk to the Patreons live as the show and sort of the overtime type of a thing. So thank you so much. Let's move on to Dennis. Not even going to try to pronounce your name. Don't want to butcher your name, but thank you, Dennis. Double of the top tier, also at $10. Thank you so much. And these guys, Anthony and Christian House. I know how to pronounce their name because they corrected me once when I did it the first time, and they've upped their pledge all the way to the top tier as well. Thank you guys for supporting me. This is really important. As you know, I lost my job in the beginning of this week, a day after I moved to Sacramento. So really, I'm going to try to do this full time and until my savings run out or until I'm able to make enough to pay my bills here. I hope it's the latter. Okay, let's move on to the comment of the day. And just like I said, we were talking about, Elon's new and calm and professional behavior. Now, Brett McIver says, I have no problems with him cutting off dumb questions, and there was some yesterday. He should have told the questionnaires to be a bit more professional. Okay, so I've addressed it obviously before, and I believe that his behavior is damaging not just his brand and himself, his image, but also the entire electric car movement, just because, this irrational, he's a CEO of a publicly traded company, and this was an earnings call. And the job of the CEO is part of the job of the CEO is to answer analyst questions and not hanging up on them. Now, I completely disagree that those were dumb questions. One of the questions was about the Model 3Q and the quality of the reservations and the type of reservations. So that was actually probably the best question, if you ask me. Now, he took 10 questions from Galileo. He also did it again, took 3 or 4 from him again. And I don't like, to be honest with Galileo questions from the perspective of investors. I know you guys say he crowdsources them, but I'm sorry, I would rather talk about something more important, like what is the quality of the Model 3 reservation list, because we don't know how long they're able to sustain this sales that are through the roof right now. But it's important because, as you know, there's 420,000 reservations, but you could make up to 2 reservations, right? So people can have 2. How many of those are there? How many actual people hold reservations, right? Are people on hold right now? What kind of a configuration they're looking for? All of that is important, and I thought it was a great question. And the fact that he apologized is probably responsible for the stock going up. As a matter of fact, many called it, well, one of the investors, and this has been quoted over and over again by many outlets, most valuable apology of all time. And I mean, it's going a little too far, but the fact that I think that, Wall Street likes stability, and what Elon Musk has been doing was very unstable. And now he's giving them a sign that he realizes that, and he believes that wasn't a good behavior, and he's going to correct it. At least that's what the impression is. So to be honest with you, Brad, Elon himself disagrees with you, that he has a problem with him cutting people off, especially analysts, Wall Street analysts. So again, he has a role to play. He is a public figure. He is a face of this movement. He's CEO of the publicly traded company that we're all rooting for. So this is a better behavior. And, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I was specifically talking about this back then, but I had no really, this was just my opinion. Now, once Elon Musk agrees with me about Elon Musk, I can tell you guys that I think I was on the right track there, saying that he really should come down. I actually have an entire video about how the stock and how Tesla is doing overall gets affected greatly by how Elon Musk behaves. Once again, I think I wasn't lying to you guys, but thank you again for your question. Of course, you are allowed to disagree with me. You are more than welcome to do that. All right, for those of you who are my Patreons and watching me live, we're gonna stay a little bit longer after the graphics disappear, and we're gonna talk about a few other things live. If you want to become a Patreon, patreon.com/E4Electric. Look at that, perfect timing. And that way you get to support the show and hopefully make sure that I can still pay my bills in another half a year or so. So I appreciate it, guys. All right, that's it from me. Couple of great videos coming up over the weekend. Check them out. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.